I'll be doing follow-up in the meantime. You can carry on.
Okay.
Okay.
So, like the reality is that in the time we are living in, many parents are not married, and they are not living together or cohabiting. So, but it is important for parents and their children to know their rights and understand the Children's Act. So, in terms of the Constitution, Section 28, 1B of the Constitution, it says the children have inherent right to family care or parental care. So that means children have a right to know who their parents are, or to be in an environment that is in a family care environment.
May I kindly disturb you?
Yes.
It's Sarah. I'm the sign language interpreter. I can't open my video. It says the host has stopped it.
Okay. Can get help in that sense?
Yeah, I'll need to speak to the host to assist.
Okay. So who's the host?
It's Olga. She's busy putting people into the rooms as well now. Just stand by.
Okay. So just to continue where I was saying,
sorry, what's the person's name for the video?
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay.
So in the past, we have seen that unmarried fathers or divorced fathers have to beg it to have contact or to maintain contact with their children. So even after divorce, the biological fathers of children still have parental rights and responsibilities, unless the court orders otherwise. But we have seen that in a lot of times, the biological fathers, they face difficulties in having access to their children. So while unmarried fathers automatically have these rights, unmarried fathers do not have automatic parental rights and responsibilities. So in terms of Chapter 3 of the Children's Act, Section 18 of that Act, it deals with parental rights and responsibilities. And then Section 19 deals with parental rights and responsibilities of mothers. And then Section 20 deals with parental rights and responsibilities of married fathers. Section 21 deals with parental rights and responsibilities of unmarried fathers. So there are mothers and fathers who are married and raising their children together. And then there are single mothers and single fathers who were never married or who are divorced. All these families have rights and responsibilities for their children, but they do not always have the same rights and responsibilities. So the Children's Act, it helps us to understand those differences. So because these parental rights and responsibilities, they differ, sometimes it can be confusing to explain who has the right and who has not the right. So you must distinguish those between different type of parents and children, and in order to explain these the rights of each parent. So for us to be able to distinguish that, we have to compare the parental rights and responsibilities depending on the different types of parents that we have. So we have one, the guardianship, we have care, we have contact, we have maintenance. And then the number of rights and responsibilities a parent has depends on the type of relationship the parent has with the child and can be summarized as follows. We have biological mothers and biological fathers, and then we have divorced biological mothers and fathers, and then we have unmarried biological mothers. We have full parental responsibilities and rights, which includes contact and care. And then we have unmarried biological fathers who only have specified parental rights and responsibilities. So this only includes contact and maintenance. So unmarried fathers' parental responsibilities and rights, they don't include guardianship and care. So if someone wants to, if an unmarried father wants to have those, they have to apply to court for the court to give them those parental rights and responsibilities. So in terms of Section 21 of the Children's Act, like I have said before, it deals with unmarried fathers. It tells us when can an unmarried father obtain parental rights and responsibilities towards their children. So in terms of Section 21 of the Act, it says a biological unmarried father acquires full parental responsibilities and rights in respect of a child if, like the first option is if at the time of the child's birth he is living with the mother in a permanent life partnership. So this does not necessarily mean that they are married. So if they are living together at the time of the child's birth, the father can acquire parental rights and responsibilities in such a case. Another option is if the other option, the second option, where he can obtain parental rights and responsibilities when, regardless whether he has lived with the mother or he has lived with the mother or is living with the mother. If he's not living with the mother, if he consents to be identified as the child's father, or another requirement is that he contribute or has attempted in good faith to contribute to the child's upbringing for a reasonable period of time. And then the last one is contributes or has attempted to contribute in good faith or towards the expenses in connection with the maintenance for a reasonable period. So these are the requirements that one has to meet in terms of Section 21. So at the moment, as you can see, it's not clear in terms of whether, in terms of the requirements, these three requirements that are in subsection 2, from 1 to 3, whether he has to meet all of those, whether if he consents to be identified as the father, he already acquires, or he has to, after consenting, he still has to contribute in good faith, or whether he has to meet all these three requirements for him to acquire, at the moment is still unclear. So the next question is, how can an unmarried father obtain parental rights and responsibilities? So you can acquire that through guardianship or contact and care can be assigned to any interested party if by an order of court, if the unmarried father can apply for care and contact, he can do so in the children's court. Or alternatively, the unmarried father, if he wants to apply for guardianship, he must approach the High Court. So at the moment, only the High Court is the one that can give a permission for someone to become a guardian. So a court can give permission to care and for contact. So in terms of section 21.3, so it deals with a situation where there is a dispute, where the father says, I have obtained parental rights and responsibilities, and then the mother disputes that. So in cases where there is a dispute between the biological parents as to whether the father has met the conditions for acquiring parental rights and responsibilities in terms of section 21. Section 21.3a says that the dispute must be referred to for mediation by a family advocate, or it has to be by a family advocate, a social worker, or a social service practitioner, or other suitable qualified person. So this means that any party to the mediation may not go to court first. They may have to go to mediation. So after, if they are not satisfied at the moment with the outcome of the mediation, they can go to court to review that decision. So the word there in that act that says must, it indicates that the parents may not approach the court first before they attempt a mediation to settle their dispute. So they have to attempt to mediate first before they can approach the court. So what are the current challenges of Section 21? So these are the challenges that unmarried fathers face. The first one is that there's lack of clarity in the Act about whether a father has to meet all the criteria that is in Section 21P to obtain automatic parental rights and responsibilities. So that is not clear whether he has to meet all those requirements, or one of them. If he meets one of them, he already has obtained parental rights and responsibilities. So even the cases that have been at court, they're still not clear. They still don't give any clear indication. And you will see even in the current proposed amendments, this is still not clarified. So they still needs to clarify this. So this is where your, if you want to make submissions, your submissions can be useful if you can submit and ask for clarity, for them to clarify whether the father has to meet all the three requirements, or only one will be enough. Another problem with the, Section 21 is that it is about a relationship with the child's mother, and is not based on the relationship between the unmarried father and his child. So what do I mean with regard to this? We'll see, it says the father meets, he obtains parental rights and responsibilities if at the time of the birth of the child, he is living with the mother. So it's about the relationship that he has with the mother at the time. So it's not about the relationship that he has. So it means, what it means is that the consequences of this section is that a committed unmarried father can, a committed unmarried father can acquire parental rights and responsibilities without showing any commitment to the child, whereas a committed father may not qualify at all for the parental rights and responsibilities. So this section is problematic because it seems to punish father who wants to be involved in their children's lives. Also, another challenge that is there at the moment is not clear whether when a person, or other than a family advocate or a social practitioner or a social service professional will be considered qualified to be a mediator for the purposes if there is a dispute. So it's not clear when a person other than a family advocate can be used as a mediator, whether you can use a social worker or other person that is suitably qualified. Also, another difficult that is there is that the law failed to consider the circumstances where the biological mother of the child is deceased or has abandoned the child with the father. So normally in these cases is where there are some children who don't have birth certificate. So in terms of the law, if the mother is not there, it means the father cannot go to Home Affairs and apply for that child's birth certificate. So in these cases, we say the law must consider such circumstances where the father is there, but the mother is not there, but the father wants to register their children's birth certificate. So the law requires that the mother must be there at Home Affairs together with the father, and the mother should agree that the father must be on the birth certificate. So what are the proposed amendments? So the Children's Amendment Bill contains amendment that attempts to address some of the challenges that has arisen in respect of Section 21. So the bill proposed to expand the scope of Section 21A by affording automatic parental rights and responsibilities to an unmarried father if he lives with the mother at the time of the child's conception or any time between the child's conception and birth. So this is also still problematic because it requires, it's about the relationship between the father and the mother. So if he lives with the father at the time of the child's conception, so it means that it's about the relationship between the father and the mother. It's not about the relationship between the mother and the father and the child. Another thing that the bill seeks to do, the amendment seeks to do, is it deals in good faith or for a reasonable period. So in good faith or for a reasonable period, so in terms of the father's contribution or contribution to upbringing or to the expenses. So that is to avoid a dispute where someone says, but I contributed to the child's expenses. Someone will say, no, you didn't contribute in good faith, or you didn't contribute for a reasonable period. So it removes that ambiguity on the section, on Section 21 or Section 21P. So this means that an unmarried father will no longer have to prove that he contributes or has attempted to contribute in good faith to the upbringing and the expenses in connection with the child's maintenance. So he will only have to prove that he contributes or has attempted to contribute to the child's upbringing and the expenses. So another thing that the bill seeks to do is that it seeks to insert a section where a family advocate will have to issue a certificate to confirm that an unmarried father has acquired full parental rights and responsibilities either in terms of Section 21A or in terms of Section 21B. So in this case, that certificate should be a proof that it would be enough to prove that the father has acquired parental rights and responsibilities. So that documentation this one is a positive development in this act, because it means that the father won't have to incur any expenses going to court to get a court order. So, but the challenge in this one as well is that now it will be dependent on whether there are enough family advocates to issue such certificate. So another thing that the bill seeks to do is that it removes the reference to a social worker and social services and social service professional, and it replaces with the term social service practitioner. So the reason why they're removing this is that they want to align the terminology of the Act, and also to broaden the number of practitioners available to assist further. And then another thing that the bill wants to do is that it deletes section 21(3)B from the section. So this section is the one that talks about after mediation, that if any part is not satisfied with the outcome of the mediation, that it has to be reviewed. So if someone is not satisfied, they will have to go to court. But now this section, it takes away that right that someone has to go to court. So it means you only have to rely on mediation. If the mediation does not help, it means the father is left with no recourse. So that on its own is problematic in situation where people cannot find a resolution through mediation. So these are some of the so I've presented to you the current law, the problems, and the proposed amendment, and how I think they are problematic at the moment. So I have a few questions to ask. Listening to what I've said now, what do you think about the current law on unmarried fathers? Anyone who wants to tell us what they think about the current law on unmarried fathers, whether they agree with the current law, whether do they think the unmarried fathers should have parental rights and responsibilities? What do they think about the law? And anyone who wants to tell us their views,